All right, shalom, shalom. Want to get into this lesson here, but I'm be hitting a lot of points, man. It's gonna be a very in-depth lesson through the Spirit of the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, but I'm gonna be going into how these Edomites took over North, Central, and South America and made our people convert over to Christianity. All right, the rape, raw, pillage, destruction, alligator bait, lynchings, terrorists, straight terrorists. So they the real terrorists, man. But I'm gonna show you without a shadow of a doubt what's going on. So I'm gonna get into this video. I'm gonna be stopping it here and there because I got a lot of more information I want to bring out with this. So take notes.
Times, though, there have been some awkward moments. And for some, they have been a reminder of the monarchy's difficult imperial past.
Slavery was abhorrent, and it should never have happened.
As of June 2022, the British Crown was still legally head of state.
All right, I want you to see something, you brothers that's in the Caribbean, and you brothers that's maybe going over some research about this. I'm gonna start to the left and work my way over to the right, and you see we got Belize. See these devils. I'm gonna show you a map how they split up and this destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And took over all this land. That's why they got the wealth. That's why they got the control. That's why they got the power now. All right, they subdued our people and subjugated them to hell, and they don't have to pay for that. Every last bit of it. So Belize to the far left. We got brothers in Jamaica, as you see, working my way over to the far right. You go towards the top, you got the Bahamas, right? St. Lucia, all right, St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, if I said that, Grenada, all right, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and Grenadines. Hopefully I said that right, Salakia. But yeah, these is where these devils came over here to the Americas, and it was 4 major countries. It was really like more than that, but let me show you something real quick so you can get a better understanding before I get into more of this video. All right, you see here at the very top, these Edomites, when they took back over so-called Europe, what they did, they was hell-bent on destroying Jake, the so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. They was their mission. All right. So what they did is when they came back into power through conquering, you know, you had England, France, Portugal, and Spain, and you had the Roman, Rome. You had the Roman Catholic Church that was doing these decrees and these inquisitions. All right. And what they was doing is selling over here with their goons, right? And they was conquering North, Central, and South America. So you can see on this map right here, all right. And these was our Israelites over here in North and Central and South America. So these devils got this kicked off, all right? And you can see right here, the green right here in Peru and going up to New Spain and all that, it was under the Spanish control, which the Spanish is Edomites. They're all the same people. What they do is rename themselves these different names so you won't be able to know who they were today, all right? And you see the orange right here, Portuguese control, the blue under the French. You got a lot of brothers that's in them parts speak French, French, Slovakia, all right? Slovakia. And right here you got the orange is the England control, English control Slovakia. And then you had the so-called Dutch. Well, all these are Edomites. Let me show you something else. I'm gonna get back to that. It says right here, it says French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian are all based on Latin. Who was so-called speak the Latin language in Rome? It comes from Rome, which were Edomites. We can prove that. All right. So the so-called Romans and the so-called Greeks were Edomites, but the true people that was in those lands were so-called black people. But they overthrew them, and then they start calling themselves the Greeks. Then they start calling themselves the Romans, which we know for sure that the Edomites or Esau Edom is Rome. And these languages right here come out of Latin, which proves the direct connection to the Edomites and the French, the Italian, the Spanish, the Portuguese, and Romanian, if you got understanding. All right, let me get back into this video. You devils ain't gonna run from this.
The British Crown was still legally head of state in these 15 countries. all former British colonies.
All right, you see, they took over Australia. If you do your research, Australia was so-called black people, man. There's still like a lot of them now, but they slaughtered them. They did genocide. They poisoned them. They gave them diseases. I mean, it goes on and on. You got New Guinea, Solomon Islands, New Zealand, and so on and so forth. Let's keep going.
Or protectorates. But increasingly, there have been calls for the British monarch to be removed as head of state.
Ladies and gentlemen, their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, have arrived. Please stand.
And you see these simple Jakes right here, they've been broken. Then, Jake, been subdued spiritually, man. And Jake just accept whatever, you know what I'm saying? Our people don't have no kind of moral standard, all right? They don't want no kind of payback primarily because of Christianity. Christianity did a hell of a psychological and spiritual job on our people's mind and got them just like, hey, it's cool,
They shouldn't be welcomed as leaders of the country, as representatives
Right.
of the head of state.
Right.
How these two young
Facts.
white people now going to be here saying we are going to kowtow to them and we are going to bend and bow and kneel to them. Those days are done. The monarchies are relic.
In the Caribbean, some people want the royal family to provide reparations for their role in slavery. So what exactly are the monarchy's links to the slave trade?
Why don't you
Slovakia.
own commercial real estate? Yes, you. Why don't you own commercial?
So what exactly are the monarchy's links to the slave trade?
The royal family's links to slavery began during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. The crown and the royal family was deeply involved in the slave trade and making money off the slave trade. Charles II granted a charter to the Royal Adventurers originally, and they were then reconstituted as the Royal African Company to deal directly in enslaved Africans and to sell them in the New World, but primarily to the colonies in the Caribbean and mainland North America.
This was one of the greatest atrocities in human history, and those who suffered in this atrocity are persons from the region, a lot of persons from the Caribbean region. And that suffering was not only immense, it was generational. And
Okay, you brothers and sisters, I want you to pay attention from this point moving forward. Hopefully, Lord willing, you keeping up, but check this out.
and a lot of wealth was derived from the suffering, a lot of benefits was derived from the suffering.
The brands that were used on the bodies of enslaved people featured the name of monarchs. So, for example, the Duke of York, one of the brands that was used by the Royal African Company was the letters DY, and this was actually instructed to be put onto the bodies of enslaved people. So they are making it very clear that the royal family is involved, that the royal family supports the slave trade, and that actually because the royal family supports it, this is a good investment. This is a safe investment. This was seen as the way to build an empire, but also as a way to convert Africans to Christianity. That was the
Boom, I want you to hear that. To convert you Israelites to Christianity. Thus, that's why you got most of our people still so-called Christians with that white so-called image in their mind and still calling on this character, man, Caesar Borgia, all right? But that's a very important thing that they did, because when these Edomites would conquer, rape, rob, and destroy, they would give you their God, right? They would give you this modern form of Christianity using the Bible, your own book, on you as a weapon. And that's why some Jakes, they despise the Bible because they attach it with Christianity, the white man version of Christianity. All right. They don't know that the Bible is our history book, but it was used on us as a weapon. Like, I like to use this analogy here. If somebody picked up and, picked the gun up and shot somebody, is the gun the problem or the person that picked the gun up and shot the gun? All right. Get more into this.
primary argument that was made at the time. So the crown saw itself as a civilizing, Christianizing force. That yes, they were profiting, and yes, they were supplying laborers to the colonies, but they also saw themselves as on the right side because they were expanding and civilizing the world.
You heard that? That's only a devil would think that way. All right. That's why we call these people the devil. All right.
Wise African chiefs have seen the tremendous changes in Nairobi to which the princess herself referred in her speech.
The contrast we see today is a striking tribute to the men and women of all races who had made it a great center of commerce and finance.
So like, let me speed it up a little bit. I want to get to a certain point right here.
Royal family was against abolition, that the royal family believed that the slave trade was crucial to maintaining Britain's wealth and power and its imperial interests.
Repairing that damage is something that both Prince Charles and Prince William have tried to do in recent years, with some of the strongest words yet from members of the royal family when it comes to links to slavery, and some have seen it as a real shift in attitudes.
From the darkest days of our past and the appalling atrocity of slavery, which forever stains our history,
I want to express my profound sorrow. Slavery was abhorrent, and it should never have happened.
Expressing sorrow, but not saying sorry. And there's been so much discussion in Jamaica where they just...
You heard that, them devils, man. All right. Let me watch this too. Then I'm going to get into this lesson.
...come from about an apology for slavery. How are you feeling about that debate here?
Slavery? Well, we're not independent. We're not given freedom. Okay? So slavery to me, it's been abolished. So why go back in time, and move forward?
See how simple these niggas is, man? All right.
It wasn't him. That was
not him. Give it. That was just a past. That's we're moving forward right now.
Yes.
All is making the Bahamas a better place.
Yes.
And that's the best thing we can do.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
we are not being prepared to forget. Yeah. We'll never forget. And we will always remember.
You hear that shit there? Now that's when you know how people are effed up, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't even, like I be saying this, man. Our people don't want justice. They don't want to pay, they don't want to pay back. All right. Bugged out, man. All right, this is the book of Proverbs 1:22. It said, how long you simple ones. So you saw that nigga and you saw this nigga women. All right. All right. Completely. See, this was Christianity has done to our people. Converted them over to Christianity where you love your enemy. And that scripture is misunderstood. When it's talking about love your enemy, it's talking about of your own nation. A man foes are enemies of his own household. All right. Will ye love simplicity, being fucking stupid? How long would you love doing this, man? Our people bugged out in them Israelites, man. And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So they don't want to know about this history. They say, let's forgive and forget. Let's move on. That was the past. Let me hit this Sirach. And that's what these devils able to do too. 12, Sirach, Ecclesiastes 12. And I'm going to start at 10. This is the Good News translation. I like the way they broke it down. This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes 12. And I'm going to start at 10. Salakia. Never trust an enemy. His wickedness is as destructive as rust. It says 11, watch out and be on guard against him, even if he acts so humble. And that's what you saw these fake Raws, so-called Prince Charles or whatever. All right, they was talking, like they was sorry and all that. Actions speak louder than words. You know what I'm saying? If you so sorry, you got to pay a reparation. You got to pay compensation for that. That's the only way to move forward. There ain't shit else to talk about. All right. But our people simple-minded and don't understand the wiles of this devil, the tricks and schemes. All right. They not sorry because if they were sorry, because most of them people in poverty, man. All right. In those countries that these devils came in and took over, man. And they still got control. All right. Let me get more into this. He is like a metal mirror that rusts away and you don't keep it polished. 12. It says, see the enemy at your right hand, and the next thing you know, he'll be trying to get your own place of honor. Put him next to you, and he would overthrow you. Then you will realize the truth of my words and be stung with regret when you remember them. Nobody feels sorry for a snake charmer or wild animal tamers who get bitten. All right. So yeah, the moral of the story, we're dealing with the devil, man. Call Hala Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakak Wadash.